I'm live already. Awesome. Okay, can I switch to cameras? All right, guys. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding certain problems that people are having with the plugins and new updates on the Vita. So if anyone is receiving my notifications for when I go live, this would be the best time to hop on here and ask questions, especially since I have my Vita here and I can show you the common problems that I've experienced and how I fixed them. So I hope that this video will help you guys. I believe that this will be archived or whatever, so that if you don't watch it while it's live, you'll be able to watch it later. Um, so recently we've had some updates to some apps, PKGJ, Vita Shell, Adrenaline. There's been a lot of questions regarding the TF Tool app, so I want to kind of show that off a little bit. Let me go ahead and switch cameras right quick. All right, so here you go. So there's the TF Tool. Basically, when you run this, I'm going to just show it again right quick. This will allow you to switch your Vita, your SD card to UMA 0 and vice versa. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to have to reset anything. So let me go and let me get out of here. Okay, so when you first run the TF Tool, it's going to recreate the config file, and I'm going to take you to that right now. I'm going to go to mine, that way you can see everything live. We're going to go down. I have all my plugins. Now here's a good tip, just for starters. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. This isn't scripted at all. So, we're going to navigate down to my TIE folder at UR0. This is my recommendation. You might not want to follow it. You should follow it, I think. If you're using the SD to Vita adapter and you still have the original memory card for the Sony M.2 memory card, this is my recommendation, because when you have all these things set up, you basically have three areas of memory. You have UR0, which is the Vita's internal memory, which is only for the system, unless of course you have custom firmware. And then there's UX0 and UMA0. UMA0 is created after you get the SD to Vita adapter officially set up. Now, obviously, the SD adapter can't work until you load its plugin. And so, what I do to prevent any problems with any of my plugins from loading properly, I go to UR0, because that address will never change. The M.2 or M2 memory card might change to UX0 or UMA0, and same with SD to Vita adapter. Either one of those can be swapped to one or the other, but UR0 will always remain the same. So all my plugins, I have them all in my UR0 TIE folder. You can see them here. There's my no NPDRM, my storage manager, and those are the only two plugins that I currently have listed in this folder. Now, when you run the SD to Vita program, what it's going to do is going to take your old config text and turn it into a backup folder or a file, and then unfortunately it's going to make its own. So when it does that, all this will be listed, but this won't be there, this won't be there. You might have additional plugins that I'm not using, so anyways, they will no longer be there. Now, how I found out about this, I didn't go and check my config file afterwards. I just went ahead and rebooted my Vita, and when I came back to it, I'm like, oh look, it's working, because there's all my games that I had on my SD card. But when I go to run them, they all said that they had to be re-downloaded or reinitialized or re-authenticated or some mumbo jumbo about why they didn't want to work. Come to find out, that's when I went and checked out the config file, and I noticed that my no NPDRM plugin was no longer loaded because it was no longer my config file. So by re-adding that, I went back and boom, lo and behold, all my games will load the way they're supposed to. I'm not going to demonstrate that here, but just take my word for it. So that's the issues I had with the TF tool. A lot of people also have been asking questions about the PKG. They've been having issues. There's one currently that I've been researching that I'm trying to figure out, because, well, it's pretty new. Obviously, it ain't going to work because I'm not connected to a network, but Some people were, one person in particular was having an issue downloading larger files. I don't know if that's just a bug, or if he actually doesn't have enough memory, or if he isn't telling it to install to the correct memory card. Honestly, I don't know. But he says he's been able to download smaller games and everything else. The only thing he hasn't been able to do, what happened? What'd I do? The only thing that he hasn't been able to do is install games larger. I think he tried one that was like 1.5 gigs and it got to 80% and failed. So, all right, so you got the new 0.16. Okay, well, there's also some editing that we have to do for that. If you update it to anything higher than .14, its config file changed as well. I'm going to show that here. It goes to UX0, and we're going to go down here to PKGI. Now, one of the biggest things that has changed. What is this? Interesting. Oh, maybe I downloaded Fruit Ninja. Okay, whatever. All right. So one of the things I notice is in here. You need these lines in there for each of the types of content you want to download to work. You know, you have the Vita games, Vita updates, DLC, PSX games, and PSP games. PSP games came out with .14, .15 or something like that. Anyways. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I just updated and it's not working. What's going on? Well, I had to do some research and digging, and I found out that, you see where it says HTTP? Well, originally, my config file for PKGJ was HTTPS. And so if it's not downloading your list of games, it's because they still say HTTPS. Remove the S, and when you go back into the program, it will down your list and you're good to go. Okay, so that'll take care of that. Some people are like, well, I downloaded the game and got to like 90%, but then it failed. I can't find out these individuals that were doing that didn't have no npdrm plugin in their config file, or they recently used the TF tool, didn't realize they had to re-edit the config file for their TIE folder, or whatever. It wasn't working because of the plugin wasn't loaded. And so, you know, all these people that have went and fixed the problems that I presented, you know, got everything up and running. I'm wondering, is there any? Is there any show? There's no questions, no chat or anything, or maybe it's not showing. Oh, hey, hello, Killock01. Is that right? Okay. Well, so let me see. I can't think of what any other problems that people were having. So yeah, I guess as long as I'm right here, if there's any other questions, I mean, I don't have much with me. I'm out on the road. I got the Vita and I got my 3DS, which I'm only using a flash card for. So if you have any questions, that'd be a great time, guys. I'll be here for a couple of minutes. Can you play downloaded games on the Vita? Yeah. Well, what do you mean downloaded game? I mean, do I download them through PKGJ or what? Because all my games were downloaded, most of them on the PC and then transferred over. But yeah, the PKGJ is basically like a free PSN store. It uses the TSV files that are generated by NoPlayStation or NoPaystation.com. If you don't want to use your network or Wi-Fi or a hotspot in your phone to download games onto your Vita with PKGJ, which is neat. It's kind of a convenience. You can use the NoPaystation browser. You can go to NoPaystation.com and you can get all that stuff. The site is a little tricky to navigate, but you just got to copy your downloaded games to the correct folders on your SD card, or transfer them through FTP, or use Vita Shell in USB mode. And so, yeah. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. The custom firmware works on 360, In fact, in order to get any version of custom firmware right now on your Vita, you will need 3.60. I have a video about that. You should go check that out. It's a little bit confusing because I was doing it for the first time and I had a few, so you'll notice the different cuts in the video. But you know, you'll run the Hinkaku exploit on your 360 Vita, and then if you don't already have it, you can download ENSO 365. The Flow is the one who made it to where you can update 360 to 365 custom firmware. But if you're already on official firmware past 360, that won't be available till maybe towards the end of this year or the beginning of next year. The Flow has been working tirelessly on getting a exploit solution for people past 360 that'll work all the way up to 367, 368. It's ready now, but he's not releasing it until the end of life of the Vita because we don't want Sony to patch all of his hard work. So as soon as the what's going on? As soon as the end of life comes around, then it'll be released. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to do a video about it. And yeah, as soon as it finally releases with the exploit available all the way up to 368, which is the latest official firmware, I'm thinking I might go and buy another Vita just to do a whole new video exploiting it from scratch. So it'll be pretty cool. But you know, I have two Switches. They're my kids, so I guess I don't really have one. The custom firmware scene sounds to be pretty atmosphere. I don't know much about it because my Switches are so new. I'm not in no hurry to do any kind of firmware exploit on them at all. Just like my 3DS, I'm using a flash card. Even though there's many options for custom firmware, I don't want to exploit it because it's still pretty new. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I read a little bit about it. I don't know much about it. I can't offer any advice about it. Since, you know, the Switch is so new, it's been out for a little while, but it's so new, I would, you know, dropping $300 on a portable console just to exploit it and potentially have it bricked, I'd be afraid to do that. I figured if I buy one used for like $100, maybe then we'll go and hack it away, right? And so, but you know, interesting news. If you're in the 3DS scene, there is a new firmware installation tool I just read about. I can't remember what it's called right offhand. But what is it called? If you know what it is, go ahead and comment. But I guess it makes it easier to install custom firmware without having to use a flash card to do it. I guess you have to, it uses by exploiting a DSiWare from the official eShop. So you will have to spend at least $2 for a game. No, it's not Ninja Hacks. What was it called? I can't remember. It'll come to me later on. But if I was going to do something, it'd probably be something like that. I mean, I'm running right now. I got the Stargate. That's another video I'm looking forward to doing. I've reached out to Stargate and they still haven't responded. Firmware 2.0 is supposed to be coming out with new DS file updates as well, because we're only on 1.1 right now. 2.0 is supposed to exploit additional vulnerabilities that are on like Pokemon Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon X. I also have the Sky 3DS Plus. I did a video on that as well as the Stargate. My sole reason for getting the Sky 3DS Plus is it came with a Sky Dock. I mean, I'm not a big online gamer. I wanted to use it like a proof of concept kind of thing for myself, because I still had some other games, the original cartridges that I use the SkyDock to back up. So if you have a large collection of 3DS games, you want to be able to back them up without having to search for a non-decrypted ROM, the Sky 3DS Plus is a bonus. It doesn't have no DS portion. In my opinion, for the price, Stargate. You'll have to download your own ROMs, unless of course you have a SkyDock already and you can back up your own ROMs. But if you don't have that and you have to download your backups from some site, I'm not going to list any, but the Stargate is awesome. Along with firmware 2.0, they're bringing support for Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, and NES ROMs directly from the interface. And it loads ROMs quicker than the Stargate. I'm sorry, the Sky 3DS, I mean, sorry. So, but they're both about the same price, 70 to 90 bucks, depending on where you go. And actually, there's getting fewer and fewer websites available for getting flashcards, unfortunately. They will. That's what their plan is. One of the things they're including in the future update. On the DS side, I haven't got any of the emulators to work. Even running emulators that ran on a regular DS flashcard, I haven't got any of them to work. So like, here, I can show you a little bit right here. So there's Zelda, and it got two buttons right here. So we'll just give one a quick tap, and boom. That would actually take, let me turn that down. That would actually take like maybe 10 seconds to unload and reload on the Sky 3DS. So it's much faster, and you can go back and forth too. I got like 20 games on here. So you can go back and forth, and you hit both of them at the same time, and it loads into DS mode. That might look familiar. And so I'll show you that right quick. Oh, it's much faster than the Sky 3DS. But with the Sky 3DS, you get the SkyDock function. So you can back up your own ROMs. You can write the config file and your ROM header. So if you play online and you don't want to bring a bunch of your cartridges with you, you can write your own header file. And so, yeah, see, it's got its own DS mode. I think I have, let me see, where would I put NDS here? Yeah, so yeah, I may have emulators, but they don't work for whatever reason. They just, well, it loads, but, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, file system error, it's all you get, so I haven't got anything to work properly. Hopefully soon. I wish there was, another thing I don't like about it is the fact that you have to, it doesn't like to exit sometimes. Yeah, I'm hoping they are. I mean, because they're writing their emulators for their flash cards, so you're almost guaranteed to have 100% compatibility with them writing it for their own flash card. So, let's see. I can't think of any other major issues people have been having on the Vita. Let's see. Covered PKGJ and the Trans Flash. That's what they said, that it's soon, back in March, and I reached out to them last week asking for an update, and I haven't received a response as of yet. So I'm hoping. I wish soon meant soon. I guess their definition of soon is different than mine. So hopefully before the end of the month we'll have a new update. And because they've already recreated, they've done some tweaks to the cartridge itself. And so now retailers that are selling the Stargate are going to be releasing or selling the newer version. So I guess some people had issues with the thickness of the cartridge or something. Well, If you remember the Gateway team, the people that make the Stargate is Gateway. They developed the Gateway, and then when they stopped development for that, they worked with someone else who did a cartridge emulator like the Sky 3DS. It's not. It doesn't really load ROMs. It loads a ROM into its own memory and emulates a retail cartridge. Is how it works. And that's why it works on any version of the 3DS. But then you get games like Pokemon that want to be a pain in the ass. Let's see. I guess, yeah, because I think, get out of there. I think Pokemon Sun and Moon, I think they have another layer of security to prevent them from working. And I think even the Gateway and the Sky 3DS have issues or can't load Sun or Moon or Ultra or whatever. So they're not alone. I might be wrong on the Sky 3DS. If you have it already and it works, let me know. So, well, if is it awesome? Okay, well, I'll have to. Was it a recent update or was it an old update? Ah, you got my Gateway card. I haven't used that in years. Is it a recent update or is it something that's been out for a little while? Okay, so okay. Well, I haven't tried it, but you need 140 in order for the SkyDock to work. So I have a. That's kind of messed up. It is. I guess Gateway or Stargate need to get on the ball then. So obviously, since the Sky 3DS is working, I guess that means we know for a fact that Stargate isn't working with Sky 3DS to make a similar product. Maybe they need to get with them and check out their firmware and see how it works and see so they can get theirs working. So. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna, I guess maybe edit some video out here, or maybe I'll play some Far Cry 5. Hell yeah. I don't know, I don't have enough bandwidth here to go live because I have to tether it to my laptop and you know how these damn cell phone carriers, they don't want you to have an unlimited hotspot anymore. What a bunch of crooks. So, yeah. So if anyone else watching this after the fact that it's been live have any other questions about the 3DS, the Vita, or anything like that, leave them in the comment section below, and share, like, all that good stuff. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to click that subscribe button and get subscribed. Maybe even click the little bell icon to become the notification squad. That way you won't ever miss another. All right, guys. Peace.